Well, hello. Ben Pierce here, Senior Pastor at Fuquay-Varina Baptist Church. Starting a brand new sermon series, or really it's a devotional series that I'm looking forward to starting called Disciple. What does a disciple look like? How do they act? We're going to take each letter of the D-I-S-C-I-P-L-E and take a look at an aspect of what it is. Today, probably one of the hardest ones. The D stands for dying to self. The passage I'm going to be using today is Luke chapter 14, and we're going to be looking at verses 25 through 33, because in this passage, Jesus point blank says, this is what a disciple does. If you don't do this, you can't be my disciple. And so what I want to do is just kind of summarize it and challenge you at the same time. The first thing that I want you to note as we look at this text is this: Jesus is looking for followers, not fans. When we start this text out, he's got a bunch of people, multitudes of people following him. You ever notice that in the New Testament, when there's a multitude following Jesus, that's usually when he lays a heavy teaching on them and they begin to fall away, whether it's John 6 or Luke 14. What he's about to tell these followers, this multitude, is now it costs something to be a disciple. So he's looking for a true follower. He's looking for disciples. The second thing is, I want you to see in verses 26, your relationship with Jesus Christ, to truly die to self, is the most important thing in your life. In fact, all other relationships pale in comparison to your relationship with Christ. Jesus said, if you don't hate your mother and father, he tells us to love. It doesn't mean that I despise them, I no longer honor them, but what it means is my relationship to Jesus far outshines that of any other human relationship I have on earth. The third thing it means to truly be a disciple who dies to self is you got to take up your cross. You got to come to the end of yourself, identify with the death, the burial, and resurrection of Christ, and come to a point each and every day to where you say, it is not about myself, it is not about my will or my desire, but instead you die to that. You also got to count the cost. Being a disciple is not easy. It will cost you something. You'll see that in verses 28 through 32. And last but not least, being a disciple of Christ is to give up everything to gain everything. Not being so holding on tight to all my possessions, but instead saying, Lord, it's yours. That's what dying to self means. It's the hard one, but I want you to be a disciple.